Alright everyone, welcome back to Automotive Anatomy, to another wash and talk. As you guys can tell, I didn't rinse it with the hose. What had happened was, I have my green hose, and when I went to use it, the little gun thingy, it attached from my little Mickey Mouse that I had, and I ended up going and getting the other heavier hose afterwards, so then you'll be able to see that I started rinsing it the proper way. But yeah, today, first wash and talk with Rosie, so I really appreciate you guys for tuning in, and dude, I wish that the paint will stay as shiny as when the water hits it. You guys know exactly what I mean. The front end ended up looking really clean because it doesn't have that many clear coat peeling, but the roof is rough, and you can tell when I'm drying it, the whole towel just kind of rolls up because there's no clear, there's nothing for it to slide. But the rest of the car was really nice. Actually, I think it probably got detail at some point, because when you kind of go over it and it feels rough. This one didn't. Neither the fender nor the hood. And I know the hood came from my buddy Eduardo Estrada, so I'm sure he took care of it. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to give some love to the daily. There's a lot of things that I want to do. Like clean the under the fender wall, took off the tires, I mean the wheels, and then move them to the side. You guys may be asking why I decided to wash the car when it's really sunny. Just due to some stuff that I needed to do. I needed to use that time, utilize that moment, because then I needed to do like two other things afterwards. And so if I didn't do it at that moment, then probably 3, 4, 5 days later, I still wouldn't be able to wash the car. But yeah, it came out great. I'm really pleased with the way she washes up. You'll notice that I kind of go back into those little areas from cleaning. A little bit of rust in the actual wheel, and it's been by the beach, so there's a lot of rust under. But it seems like all the suspension components are good, and she seems to be safe to drive. So that's my number one concern. But I'm still gonna go back and do a little bit of changes to the suspension. Um, but yeah, I am so happy with this car, especially the plastic trims next to the fender and the rear quarter panel. So there you go, you can get the heavy hose now. But yeah, just kind of wanted to say thank you. This has been pretty cool start to 2021. Obviously, the beginning of January we took a break due to being sick. Now we're back, staying really safe. Hopefully, if you do believe in vaccines, hopefully you get it. If you don't believe in vaccines, I still hope you stay safe. Not just for your safety, but for the safety of others, especially the older people in your family. So, topic that I wanted to kind of discuss today was social media, and the reason why I want to discuss today. So today I ended up going to Carson Coffee. Obviously, you probably would have seen the footage of that Carson Coffee and Joe Live Drive Slow prior to this video, and I had a conversation with one gentleman there that I met. I am blanking out his name at the very moment, so I do apologize about that. But as I was recording, he stopped me. He said, "Hey Gus, uh, just wanted to say that I really like your channel. I really like what you've been doing for the card community, and it's fun. It's fun to watch." I'll be honest. At first, I used to get kind of creeped out, or not creeped out, but just kind of weirded out or caught by surprise that somebody would know my name. Now I'm kind of used to it. Like, okay, I make videos, and people seem to know my name, right? So I just well, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. I think that I think the videos have shown that I genuinely care about cars. It's specific in Hondas, but just the stories in general. It doesn't have to be all Hondas. It just happens to be that way. The community has been the most supportive. Um, and he said, it's kind of weird coming up to you and saying what's up, because sometimes you don't know how people are gonna react. We don't know if that's how you are in camera and off camera, and you just don't want to have that bad experience. And I said, do you mean like um kind of the whole idea of getting to know your heroes? You don't want to get to meet them because then you get a disappointment out of it? He goes, yeah, exactly, man. Like, people act on camera differently than would act in real person. And I've experienced that with some of the people that you've interviewed, that I'm like, oh shit, this guy or whoever came out in Automotive Anatomy, I want to say what's up to them. And then you try and you're like, man, that's not how you appear in the video. So I was kind of hesitant to go up to you and say what's up to you. He's like, but it seems like you're the same dude. I said, I try to be. I don't I always say it, and I'll repeat it: social media is a make-believe world. It's a great tool. It's definitely a wonderful tool that opens up opportunities, but it also closes a lot of doors. And what I mean, it closes a lot of doors is sometimes when you grow um, as a media platform, you get more recognition from certain people, and depending on the person, that can lead to a bigger, better sense of circle or not so great of a circle. And what I mean by that is, I was having the same discussion with this gentleman and his buddy. Um, I don't think money is a bad tool. I think money is a great tool, but I think money emphasizes and enhances the person that you are. If you're a kind person, you're gonna be a kinder person. If you're a giving person, you're gonna be even much more giving person. If you have money, if you're not giving, while you make minimum wage, you're not gonna give when you get the lotto. Like you're just not gonna give it. You just I know people that don't make much and they're always giving. So I'm like, man, if that person ever wins the lotto, they're gonna be really big givers. I know people that may not act the most appropriate way and they don't have money. Like I can only imagine, oh my god, if you had money, like you would not be a right type of person. I could not see it. um, Sidetrack, by the way. I apologize for the screen a little bit wet on the right side. I try to check it every time I switch the camera, but I must have missed this one. I think I cleaned the other wheel with it as well, and then a little bit of the car, but yeah, just kind of want to disclaim that. So, after having this conversation with this gentleman, it, it definitely gives me a sense of like, okay, good. I'm glad that people that are watching these videos are getting this positivity out of this. I'm not just really trying to preach it. I'm trying to practice it myself. There has been times that I've been to like, especially old school Honda Me, where it gets a little bit, crowded and a little bit bigger. I know I went to San Diego. I went to the one in Pasadena. Even the one for Rival Machine, I did feel a few people came up to me and they were like, "Hey, what's up, man? I like the channel. Nice to meet you." I do feel like sometimes I don't give you guys the necessary time to just have a chat, and I do apologize for that. I, I legitimately feel like, man, if that was me going up to somebody that I looked up, not look up to, but I looked up to what the work that they're doing, um, and they're like, "Oh yeah, what's up, man?" And then they walk away, like I would feel bad, and so. I definitely try to, really just hold that conversation, even if it's for 3 minutes. Obviously with people that I've interviewed before, obviously with people that are just coming up to me randomly. Know that I'm not super important. Please say what's up, if you feel comfortable. But at the same time, don't take it the wrong way if I'm just minding my own business. That's the person I've always been. Now I just have a channel, and let's be realistic. The channel's been growing, and it's because of you guys. But I'm still gonna be me. Like if it had 5 subscribers, like at one point it did. I did my own thing. And it had 100. I did my own thing. Now that it has whatever it has, I'm still gonna do my own thing. I think I have a pretty strong support system at home, with my wife, with my brothers, and with my mom, who will be the first ones to call me out if they see me acting a different way just because um, of a channel that is growing, or people recognizing me at meets and things like that. I don't ever want to make anybody feel uncomfortable or intimidated, to say what's up. Like that's just I'm a random ass dude, just a guy with a GoPro, and I am always gonna be like that, and I strive to be like that. Specifically, now that I'm finishing, I finished the month of February, my minimalist challenge, and what the minimalist for me is not just getting rid of stuff like material stuff, is being more humble, is appreciating what you do. Everybody's in the hunt for money, like I discussed in another Washington talk. I am too. I'm not gonna deny it, but it's not gonna take over my attention so much that I'm gonna step away from my family and things of that nature. If the opportunity arrives, the opportunity arrives. But if not, I'm pretty content with what I do. I love what I do, and then this YouTube thing is just giving me another different experience. But I'm not gonna go ahead and try to make money. Um, just because I have been contacted by cleaning supplies thanks to I think these Washington talks and to other little things to promote their companies. I'm not interested at the moment. I don't want that to be the channel. Have I guess I've said no to money already, but that's not my interest. I want to be able to have these Washington talks with my own money, with my own tools. with my own abilities, yes. Could I get a power washer? Yeah, I will. When? I don't know. I'll get it eventually. Can I get better soap? Yes. When? I don't know. Could I get a better car? Yes. I just don't want to. This is what I enjoy. And that's the same thing that I want you to understand. That I'm the same legit dude on the camera that I am in car meets. And I think having that conversation with a gentleman and his friend, it's cool, man. Like it gives me that sense of like, damn, like I know I'm doing the right thing. Not for the numbers for the freaking page. The page is whatever's, man. It's gonna continue to grow if you continue to be consistent. That's not a question of if or not. Unless it gets hacked. If it gets hacked, guess what? No one's gonna care about the channel no more, right? That's how it is. And I don't. How would I say this? I don't. I'm not holding my breath. I know that as you grow, you get. I don't know how to say. I don't know. I don't know how to explain this in the most polite way, but I think we have to be honest with each other. When you have something of either social media presence, I don't even like using that word, but let's say you have a social media presence, people will treat you differently. Let's be honest. You know that's the reason why people get all shaken up by celebrities. Oh my God, it's a celebrity. It's not necessarily that we think that they're subhuman. It's just that we know that they come out on TV. We know that they have a lot of money in the bank, or whatever the case may be. And I think that's what people are like, oh man, this person so and so is, he or she is doing this and blah blah blah. Would I was like that. I'll be honest with you. I was like that with celebrities before. Now, not so much. I think I would just kind of kick back and say what's up to them, and that's it. Now I say that, but I don't know how I would react if I met The Rock. I would hope that he would be a pretty cool guy that I can just talk to. But ultimately, we don't know how they are outside camera, and I could honestly imagine that their life might be very stressful. Just everywhere they go, they can't just they might probably just miss just being a normal person that nobody messes with, talks to them. Uh, but that comes with the territory, right? So it's almost like this us, you and I are making these people, famous, or money, or legacy. Then you have to make time for people because they're the ones proving, showing your support. I would say showing support and kind of helping you grow as an artist or whatever you're trying to do. So no, with me, I think it was cool the fact that he shared all that with me, and that's like a Cars and Coffee. I mean, we're not just talking; we discussed his car, which is a beautiful red DA, but we also got to discuss this type of conversations, and that's what I love. I love getting to know different people, because it just now that adds to the whole idea of just a Sunday morning. Again, I get invited to different things that are around 2, 3, 4, 5 p.m. in the afternoon on a Saturday and Sunday. I'm usually not really interested in those at all because that's family with time, time with family. Even if it's just watching TV, even if I'm not even talking to my wife and she's out, cooking or getting ready, things ready for during the week, and I'm just watching TV or whatever there is. That's just time with the family. That's my go-to. Um, I mentioned it to a lot of you guys. If this becomes my job, it's not going to be enjoyable. I just know myself. I mean, would I be able to grow it much more? Of course. I know myself. I have that work ethic, but at the same time, I don't want to get burned out by something that requires me to work X amount of hours at a day or days, so that way I can maintain X amount of expectations. That's all it is, it's all expectations. There's a reason why people in social media produce every single year. There's a little bit of they love what they do, but there's a little bit of I want to do better than what I did last year, or some people do compare themselves to others. Um, but yeah, I mean, hearing that conversation about this gentleman went up to this other gentleman, and it was kind of like that wasn't the interaction that he was hoping for. It has happened to me via social media, that I met somebody, especially in the core world, and I'm like, oh man, I really like your car, and they look at me like, okay, thanks. They don't match the energy that I was showing, and it's upsetting, and you almost feel like, oh, like I don't know how to explain it. um Funny story, now that now that I mentioned this. I met a guy who he's very popular in the car automotive world. Obviously, I'm not gonna say his name. He makes products that a lot of people have on their cars. And I just happened to be with my wife. We went to get some tires replaced on for my wheels. And as I was at this location, I'm walking outside and I see this guy and I'm like, holy crap, this is the guy that came out in Jay Leno, you know? And I look at him and I don't know his name, you know, but I've seen this interview a couple times already. I love his build. He seems like a very cool, you know, person. Like, yeah, you know, I'm from so and so, and I built this in so and so, and I'm like, damn, this is cool. So I looked at him, like, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, you're the guy that came out in Jay Leno's video, and he goes, yeah, just like that, yeah, and doesn't even stop. He just keeps walking, and I'm like, did that shit just happen? Now, this time I didn't have automotive anatomy. I did none of that. You know, I was just, you know, quote unquote a regular guy. You know, I'm still a regular guy, but whatever. Hence why I tell you guys, social media opens up and closes other doors. And I said, what the, you know? So I even looked back as he walked, you know, and he just, I'm like, did this just happen? I'm in the entrance of this place, this, you know, big tire shop, and I'm looking at him, and then he sees the owner of the or the main manager from that place, and there's like this huge like, what's up, brother, you know, and so he hugs them and what's up, man, how you guys doing, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, so I guess he wasn't in a bad mood, because the very first thing that I thought was like, maybe he's in a bad mood, but then I just saw him like having the time of his life with this, you know, the manager or the owner of the tire shop. And it was very upsetting. It was very upsetting. I was just like, damn, that's crazy. uh I had that experience that this gentleman said he had with somebody else from the channel. Like, I went up to this guy and you're not the person, you know. If I was Jay Leno, you would have treated me differently. You would have been, oh my gosh, what's up? You know, obviously, um, again, I'm not gonna disclose his name, but it's not his fault. It's my fault. And the reason why I say that is my fault for thinking that they were gonna be as receptive as I was. Once you put responsibility on you, or whatever you want to say, you put the fault on you, whatever, things get better. And the reason why I say that is because now I know that if I see somebody else like that I've seen on TV or that I've seen on YouTube channel or whatever the reason, and I say what's up to them, and they look at me like, man, I don't know who you are, I don't care about you, no worries, man. I'm gonna be able to walk away. Now, I honestly I try not to go up to people like that. Um, I really try. You know, I've been around some people that have a big social media platform, and I just kind of kick back and just sit there. In fact, you know, I've had a few people who, whenever I kicked it with them, they introduced me as automotive anatomy, and I told them like, dude, introduce me by my name, like, don't introduce me by my channel, because I'm not automotive anatomy. I'm Gus. You know, I happen to run a channel called Automotive Anatomy. I don't ever want anybody to look at me first and say, "Oh shit, that's automotive anatomy." No, I want people to recognize me. Hey, what's up, Gus? How you doing, man? How's the channel? That's different. And I think that's where people start, you know, kind of going about a certain path. If there's some people that love to get introduced by whatever they're working on, you know, and I think that it would show, like, yeah, bro, you know, let them know that I'm automotive anatomy, but that's not what I'm into, and that's not my personality. It doesn't mean that if you're into that, pursue it, whatever, you know. Some people want to get famous, some people want to be known wherever they go. That's just not my personality. And trust me, being around the car world before the channel, I've met different personalities that you're like, okay, so you want to be known, you want people to know you. You can tell that they enjoy the attention, and that's not bad necessarily. But maybe eventually that's not the crowd that I would want to hang out with in the long run. My job, you know, is to get to know people, get to know their stories, and we share them via video. I get to know them on a more personal level after, before, and during the interview. That obviously will never be on camera, and so I get to know them in that way, and so from that sense, what I did end up telling the gentleman that came up to me in the Carson Coffee, I said, look, maybe the person that you went up to, maybe he was having a bad day. Maybe he had some personal stuff, whatever. I'm just kind of trying to come up with different ideas as to why maybe he wasn't as receptive. Um, but all I can tell you guys is this, man. Like, you know, I can speak at least for myself. My goals are very simple. My goals are to keep showing love to the people that have shown love to me. Um, like I mentioned before, for every 10 DMs that I sent, four of them get back to me. One of them says yes, I'm down. The other ones leave me on red, and that's okay. that leads me to believe that that's not the person that I want to have in my channel. That's not what my channel represents, and that's fine. Does it sound like I'm butthurt? Maybe, but it also allows me to continue, and it allows me to not be defeated. Because my goal is still to continue to make friends. I mean, like I said, I can go 2 months, 3 months without making videos, and I have my career. I have what I really legitimately do. I'm not trying to replace this with my career, because honestly, this thing's exhausting. Having to record, edit, promote or whatever, respond to comments. If you notice, a lot of people make videos, but they won't respond to comments because it's like they say, it's tiring. DMs on Instagram. Sometimes I have 20 waiting, and I will get through all of them. It takes a lot of time, but I'll get through them. And not because I'm very popular. It's just because people ask me questions. Hey man, can you promote this? Hey man, I have this question. Hey, I just want to say I like the channel. Well, if they're making the time to do that for me, then I need to make the time for them. Um, and that's just kind of where I am at. And eventually, things happen, and and you just kind of have to continue regardless. I can tell you guys at this moment, I've reached out to so many different people for interviews, different types, not just Hondas. um, at the time of this recording, three of them that I clearly read their messages, and they said no, I'm not interested, that's not my style. um, I don't like the cameras. Ended up coming out and showcasing their car on a channel that it's growing, and it's just has $1 million company behind it. And I'm like, well, I guess they were shy for my channel, but not for that one. A few other ones that said the car's not ready, but yeah, it'd be cool. I'll let you know. They came out on that same channel, and I don't mind if you don't like it, if that's not your thing or whatever the case may be. But again, that's not their fault. That's on me. I'll keep asking people, and people that are down to earth and want to come in and share their story on our platform, then we'll do it. And if that's not you, that's not you. I'm thankful for everybody who's come across on the channel. I'm thankful for the people that have recommended and liked the channel. But all I can say is, like, we're trying to build a relationship that goes beyond a video. 2.5 years later, and I'm still talking to Steve with the white wagon. We're this Cars and Coffee. We walked the Cars and Coffee for a little bit together. And it was so nice because we were talking about lowriders. Like, that guy's super knowledgeable with other things. So we were just talking about the same old cars. We're talking about life with lowriders, and he's giving me tips like, hey, if you are serious about getting your 63, you gotta check this, you gotta check that. And I was like, I was gonna call you to help me out with when I go check out my car. He goes, nah, I don't know much, but that's the beautiful thing. So ultimately, that's the goal. Say what's up. I am the same guy that I am in these videos. I The love does not go up unnoticed, and I really appreciate you guys. And this was our Wash and Talk with Rosie. Much love. Appreciate you guys. Take care. Wow.